Canada. How are you guys doing today? I'm excited for our Learn and Grow today. I have a very special guest with a very special story and a very special topic for you to learn. We have, man, really, I need you guys to really take your notebook and pen, grab it now, take your time, pause, come back to it. I need you to really grab that pen and take notes, because what you have to hear today and what you really have to learn is not only something that I want you to take in and take action, but really understand how she came about to becoming the 5-star diamond that she is today. Kristen Rogers, 5-star diamond, been with us for 8 years, and I'm going to let her tell you her story. So, Kristen, thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm excited to hear what you have, because I haven't heard it. I've only heard a little bit, and that to me was like, oh my gosh, that's exciting. So I can't wait to hear more. Kristen, take it away.
Thank you so much for the introduction. I really appreciate it. Hello, Canadian partners. I am so excited to be here chatting with all of you today, but I'm also feeling very nervous. When Karina asked me to share my accolades with her, I started to panic a little bit thinking about speaking with you all today. I've been in this business for 8 years now, and I'm not your typical Success Club 10 all-star legend, though I will be in 3 more months. I'm not creating diamond after diamond. I'm not recruiting hundreds of new partners a year. I could go on and on because all of the self-doubt started to creep in. Do I have what it takes to be speaking to the masses of this company? Do I have anything to offer our Canadian partners? Am I good enough? Will anybody learn anything from me? And I'm sure most of you on this call today can relate to that. You kind of have those self-limiting beliefs. And that's one big reason why I was excited to jump on today. I decided to put my pride aside and to speak to all of you despite how I may be feeling about myself and where I'm at in this business in this very moment. I think it's important for me to start by sharing a bit of my story with you, not just so you can understand who I am, but my love for this company and this business. My journey with Body started back in 2015. I was just 22 years old. And believe it or not, I was already sick of feeling sick and tired all the time. My nutrition consisted of frozen meals, boxed meals, and a 12-pack of soda every week. I had no idea what it meant to be healthy. And I had been back and forth between binge eating and dieting for 6 years prior. Yeah, that all started when I was about 16 years old. I came across an infomercial for size, and the idea of dancing to lose weight felt so much less daunting than doing T25, which are DVDs that I had purchased 2 years prior and maybe done a handful of times. So I went ahead, I spent $77 to buy the program, to get the Portion Fix containers and the nutrition guide. And on September 21st of 2015, I began my journey. I pretty quickly fell in love with everything about the company. The workouts were easily accessible, easy to follow. The nutrition plan completely changed my life in the way that I thought about food. And the positive community that I had suddenly found myself a part of gave me this sense of belonging that I had never experienced in my entire life. It was about a month after that that I decided to sign up as a partner myself. Now, I'd love to say something along the lines of, and the rest is history, but we all know it's not that simple. Let me just pause here because I know I'm going to use the word coach or Beachbody at some point, but please forgive me for my slip-ups if they happen. It's hard to break a 7-year-long habit. When I signed up as a partner with Body, I was just over a year into my professional career as a dental hygienist. And I had an amazing schedule that allowed me to have my afternoons to work a side hustle. And believe me, I did. Even before I found Body, I was mowing lawns, working at my brother-in-law's car dealership, and working in the school system, really doing anything to fill my time. As I started to grow my Body business, I started to feel more and more passionate about helping others, and I decided to ditch all those other side jobs and really focus on my professional career and my newfound passion with Body. Not long after I made that switch, my dental office got bought out, and I went from working 4 6-hour days a week to working 5 days a week, sometimes as long as 9 to 10 hours a day. I was exhausted, but that was also my first indication that I didn't want to be working for somebody else and on somebody else's schedule for the rest of my life. So instead of giving up my body business, I had to make a couple of adjustments. Instead of working in the afternoons on my business, I was working late nights and on the weekends. It was a little different than what I had been doing before, but I made it work. A couple years later, I was diagnosed with carpal tunnel syndrome, went through surgery and recovery, only to find out that it was not as effective as we had hoped. So I was directed by my doctor at that time, I believe that was middle of 2018, that I wasn't able to work at the dental office more than 2 days a week. That was going to be a big hit for my income. So thankfully, I had already established my body business, and I decided to turn those 3 days a week that I was going to be spending at home into business building hours. Within 6 months, I had a thriving team. I was able to host more calls, give my partners more one-on-one time, and be more active in my boot camps. I was sure that this was going to be it, right? We're like in the beginning of 2019. I was so excited, feeling on top of the world, feeling like nothing could ever slow me down. Little did I know that all of my time for my business that I suddenly had was going to disappear soon, because my husband and I welcomed our first child in July of 2019. And about 8 months later, COVID hit. And now I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but COVID was a very hard time for myself and my team. My partners were beginning to lose interest in the business, many of them because they never got a chance to experience the sense of community that I had spoken so highly about for so long. We no longer had super weekends, success club trips, summit. It was hard for them to feel that sense of community. There were partners on my team that had joined 2 years prior that I had never met in person because of COVID. And in March of 2021, I'll be honest, my entire team fell apart. One partner at a time. They were leaving for another opportunity to go back to their careers once COVID slowed down, and some of them even leaving for other body teams. I felt like I had done something wrong. These people had become my best friends. These people were people that I thought were going to be on the team forever, and I felt like I had failed them. I even considered giving up on this opportunity myself. My whole team was gone. It would have been a really easy time to throw in the towel on my own goals as well. But after a few months of contemplation and feeling bad for myself, I shifted my mindset instead. I remembered why I joined the company in the first place. What kept me going was my love for what we get to do every single day. We get to help people live healthier, more fulfilling, more exciting, more energetic lives. How amazing is that? Now I'm sitting here just about 2 years later, and I'm speaking to you all as a 5-star diamond coach with an elite team. Not because it was easy, not because I got lucky and I found these ladies, these unicorn ladies that were so willing to put in the work, but because I never stopped trying. Now, life looks a lot different for me now than it did when I had that thriving team back in 2019. My husband and I now have 2 kids. Our daughter Aria is 4. Our son Lincoln is 2.5. I spent the last 3 years resigned from my dental hygiene career, but in the last 3 months, I've actually gone back to working 1 day a week, kind of filling in at my old office, which I love. My husband and I own a granola business. I'm currently 21 weeks pregnant with a surrogate baby, and we're in the process of building our dream home on our family hemp farm, which we also help run. Not to mention, my husband also has a full-time career as an engineer. We're pretty busy. We've got a lot going on. And so today I want to share with you the 3 things that I have done over the last 2 years to keep my fire going in this business, even when life gets absolutely crazy. Now you're going to laugh at me because these first 2 are laughably simple. Take a sip of water. The first one, fall back in love with your own journey. We hear it on every training call, right? Be a product of the product. And you hear it all the time because it truly is the most important thing that you can be doing for your business. Now, this is going to look different for everybody, right? In 2021, after losing the majority of my team, it meant falling back in love with helping people on their wellness journey. I had been so focused on building my team and helping my partners that I had kind of lost sight of how important it can be to really help your customers fall in love with the process, right? So that included my own journey. I was more committed than ever before. I even signed up for the 2022 Beachbody Classic, which was a physique show that they used to host at Summit. And focusing on my own journey again allowed me to become the most active bootcamp member again. It allowed me to really reconnect on a new level with my clients again. And it gave me new content to be sharing with my followers every single day. I was deep in it with them. And it made it more exciting for me again, too. I was becoming a better accountability partner for my customers. That led them to better results. And that led them to sharing our programs organically with those around them. This matters, you guys. Putting effort into our boot camps matter. And I think it's so easy to forget that. Building a team is important, absolutely. But some of the best partners come from our bootcamp members. So don't forget to put some excitement and energy into being the best partner for your customers too. Now, if you've fallen off track on your own journey, I want you to recommit right now today. Pick a program to commit to, pick a nutrition plan to commit to, and talk about it publicly. Share what you're going to do. Share your grocery list. Share a recipe that you've decided to include in your week. Get back to the basics right now. Okay. Number 2, your why has to be bigger. It has to be specific and it has to be real. And you can't want to grow this business because an extra $200 would be nice. Or because I'd like to cut down my hours at work over the next couple of years. If you truly want to find success in this business or in any business, really, you have to have a bigger and a more specific why. And I say this from experience. When my goal was to maybe cut down some hours eventually, I was showing up for my business, but not in the same way that I started to show up at the end of 2021 when my husband and I sold our home and essentially made our family of 4 homeless. When my why got bigger, I knew that my goals also needed to grow bigger. And this is where the real game changer came in for me. And it's also the main topic that I have been so excited to share with you guys today. So take a deep breath. This is number 3, and it's the most important and the most elaborate. Ready? Number 3, you need to set your goals with intention, and you need to reverse engineer your goals to know the who, the when, the why, and the how of making those goals a reality. Maybe you noticed I didn't tell you much about what my business has looked like over the last 2 years. It's because I wanted to save that part of my story to help you better understand what I mean by reverse engineering and how that helped me in my business. So in April of 2022, I had just come home from a super weekend after not having super weekends for quite some time and signed up 4 brand new partners on my team. I was so excited to see my team finally growing again. But after having lost my whole team just a year before, I was doubting my abilities as a mentor. While looking over my downline and my elite report, I realized that my team had some real potential to hit elite. And that if I could put my pride aside, I might just be able to help them make it happen. I decided in that moment that instead of saying, how cool would it be if our team hit elite? I was going to start saying things like, we are going to be an elite team this year. Let's be an elite team this year. That was a big, scary goal because at the time I was a diamond coach with no real working partners. But as I said, my why was bigger and my goals needed to grow to match that. I spent hours planning how I was going to get this team to elite. And that planning strategy is the little golden nugget that I want to go over with all of you today. So let's go through this together. I want you to think about your goal, and I don't want it to be an easy goal or the like, I know I can reach that goal in the next month. I want you to put that big, scary goal out there. Maybe one that you've been putting off for a while. Is it 2-star premier? Is it 5-star elite? Maybe you missed elite last year for the first time and you want to get it back. Maybe it's 10-star, 15-star. And maybe your goal has nothing to do with recognition, but you have a certain monthly income that you need to be consistently making. Whatever your goal is, I want you to write it down right now. For me, last April, like I said, that goal was 5-star elite. And even further than that, I wanted my team to be in the top 100. Like I said, that goal felt so scary. So I hope the goal that you just wrote down feels a little scary. Now that you have your goal, when are you going to make that happen by? Is it the end of the year? Is it 2 months? Is it 3 months? I set my goal in April. I planned to hit it by the end of the year. But I also set a smaller, more short term goal to earn my trip to leadership in October, which meant that my team needed to finish our 5-star qualifying period by the end of August. Okay, this is where the reverse engineering comes in. This will be different for each of us, depending on your current goals, your current status, where you're at in the business. So it might be something that you need to dive into a little bit deeper when you're on your own, and that's okay. But I want to show you how I personally reverse engineered my goal of being a 5-star Diamond Elite team. Here's what I knew. I knew I needed to understand the road to elite thoroughly. If you don't understand how making your goals a reality happens, then the first thing you need to do is learn. Okay, we have corporate mentors, we have upline star diamonds, and other team members who are always happy to help us figure these things out. Use your resources. It's so important for you to understand how the goals come about. Okay. The other thing I knew is that in order to have the most control over reaching my goal, I needed to open a second business center so that I could be one of those 5 diamonds and have a little bit more control. We also needed to start our 5-star diamond qualifying hold by July 21st in order for me to qualify for leadership. I knew that, which also meant in order to do that, I needed to open my second CBC a few weeks before that to have enough time to grow it to diamond. And in order to earn my second CBC, we would need to complete a 6-week qualifying hold as a 2-star diamond team. Last thing I knew is that my team and I needed to be consistently earning Success Club. We needed to increase my APV. I needed more week leg volume. And I knew all of this, like I said, because I thoroughly understood the Road to Elite system. So if your goal is to be an elite coach or an elite team, take the time to learn this back and front. It is going to make a world of difference if you can truly understand what it takes to reach the goals that you have set for yourself. Okay. Now, I took all of this information after thinking about it for quite a while, and I talked it through with my body mentor and her husband. They have grown an incredible team, and I knew that they would be able to help me figure out the details. So when we sat down together, they helped me come up with specific dates and a game plan. I knew that we needed to start 2-star qualifying by June 2nd in order to be an official 2-star diamond team by July 7th. And in order to open my second CBC, that would give me 2 weeks to rank advance myself and my remaining 2 leaders to diamond by July 21st, which would start our 6-week qualifying hold as a 5-star diamond team. And on August 25th, we would finish our 6-week hold, and I would earn my invite to leadership. Remember, these are dates for last year. Now, once I had this plan in place, I did all this work on my own with my mentor, figuring all of this out. I took this plan to my team. Okay. Some of my team were babies. They did not know much about the business, so I had to go in confident to this call. I hosted a 45-minute call where I shared my vision with them. I laid out all the specific dates, gave them each the opportunity to think about where their own goals lie and to see if they aligned with my goal of creating a 5-star diamond elite team. I spoke about how they could help the team reach elite, whether it was by hitting diamond or consistently hitting Success Club, and how that contributed to elite points. I made sure they also understood the Road to Elite system because I found that that was very important. After the team call, I took the time to chat with each of them one-on-one about their own goals. I had 8 partners who had plans to hit diamond and be a part of our 5-star diamond hold. And even some who had never even shown interest in the business before were excited to learn that they could contribute to our team hitting elite in their own little way by hitting Success Club every month. I spread my fire and my excitement through the whole team, and I could see my vision growing inside of them too. It was so exciting. I put my partners each into group chats based on what their diamond goal date was. Who was going to hit it for our 2-star qual, who was going to hit it for the 5-star qual. And we worked together as a team. There was nothing stopping us. Maybe you're like me, and every year you say you're going to go after those scary goals. Then you find yourself sitting in the nosebleeds at Summit yet again, wondering what you should have done differently to change that. I spent 6 years doing that. And when I finally stopped dreaming and started breaking down my goals, everything changed for me and for my team. There was no big secret to becoming elite. What I had been missing all those years before was planning and strategy. When I had a solid plan, including dates and details, I became more focused. I suddenly knew what I needed to do every month, every week, every day. And that made me a better leader. And it allowed me to reach goals that I had never even come close to reaching before. Now, my hope today is that each of you leaves this call and sits down to reverse engineer your goals. And I want you to think big. Again, don't short yourself. You can do amazing things. I also hope that you realize we don't only have 4 months left this year. We still have 4 months left this year. The only thing standing between you and your goals, the actions that you're willing to take to get there. So what are you going to do today to move toward those goals? I'm going to leave you with this. The team call that I hosted last May as a struggling diamond coach happened on May 4th. My team finished our 5-star diamond qualification period on August 25th, 113 days later. We have 118 days left in 2023. What are you going to do with those days?
Wow. I love that you close with giving them an action. Really, what are you going to do with the months that we have left for the year? And Kristen, when you started off with everything that you and your husband do, the family, all that you have, it's not no surprise that you understand how hustle works. You really have to sweat. Like, I mean, in order for you to really have a good before and after, you have to work for it. You have to make sure that you're disciplined, right? And you have to be consistent. It's the same thing with your business. And I appreciate that you opened up your story with what you do, you and your husband do, being a mom, being a wife, being an employee now, being a business owner, and everything that you have going on. But at the same time, you're like, I'm also dedicated to this because this is the vehicle to where you want to go. How you use the body to benefit you, your goals, your family goals is amazing. And Leaders Canada, I love that she stated, she took you step by step. Take this, make it your own, really dig deeper into what it is that you're using body for. Like where is this vehicle taking you? And use the days, the months, the weeks that we have left to really propel your business forward and take you to newer and better heights. Thank you so much, Kristen, for your time. Thank you, leaders. I hope you all have an amazing day. We'll see you. Bye.